Good night. When is the official, switch from evening to night? I'll look that up in a moment. It is 0609 2024. 6-9, nice, 2024. June 9, 2024, and it is a Sunday. Here in Sherbrooke, it is currently 16 degrees Celsius, 60 degrees Fahrenheit. The sun rose at 4:59 a.m. and it will set at 8:35 p.m., which is a grand total of 15 hours and 36 minutes of sunlight today. The days are getting longer. I had some difficulty this morning. I woke up, again, far too early. I really wanted more sleep, but I had this sore throat. But it wasn't I feel like beginning of illness sore throat. It's only like on one side of my throat, on the left side of my throat. And I was thinking it's maybe because, my nose has been bleeding. Maybe, I stopped the bleeding one time, but, I just stopped it from, going out the nose, but it was still going up my sinuses and into my throat. And that's happened to me before on several occasions, and it creates some irritation. But this hasn't gone away. I was trying to fall asleep again, but I couldn't fall asleep because every time I swallowed, it was painful. And then I don't know. I just when those things sort of happen, I get sort of obsessive. So I'm swallowing more often because of that, and so it's. Of course, it's going to be more difficult to fall asleep if I'm focusing on swallowing, but then it hurts every time. So yeah, I didn't think I was going to really be able to get much done today. So I finally woke up and, or at least got out of bed, and yeah, I just felt not good. Sort of dazed a little, which I chalked up to just being a little sleep deprived, but I might be coming down with something. I don't know. Not something severe, I don't think. But yeah, it just hurts every time I swallow. So yeah, I didn't think I was going to get anything done today, and I surprisingly did get a lot done. I did go see my mother again, but that's okay. I wouldn't have done that anyway. I did not have the energy, but I did manage to do something that I was really putting off, but I knew it would be the best to do while my roommates were away camping. I knew that they were going to come back at some point today. It's just easier to do when they're not there. Because I feel sort of ashamed about it. But anyway, I've got this thing about food. Especially food that has gone bad. And it really, really, really grosses me out. Extremely so. To the point I'm, scared of it. But the problem is that sometimes, there'll be things that'll stay in the fridge on my shelf that I know have gone bad, and so I'm afraid to open them and touch them. Not touch them, but, get rid of them, be around them. But, obviously the longer I wait, the grosser it's going to get. So it just, this never-ending, cycle of being too afraid to do it, and then it gets worse and worse and worse, and then sometimes stuff accumulates. So there were, 4 containers. But then also it's, containers that my roommates often use. So I know that they would probably like those containers back. Just be useful to use. But, also because, I can't wash these by hand, or, just the idea of touching these, or, the contents, residue from these containers touching the sponge that we use just grosses me out to no end. So it took several attempts, and just, slowly, okay, well, first of all, going to the dishwasher and taking out all the stuff that, because they're like thin plastic containers, they have to go on top, otherwise they just get flipped over, which is something that one of my roommates, she's great, but just doesn't understand that if you put it on the bottom, it's gonna get flipped over. So as soon as there's like the jet from the bottom, it'll get flipped over. It'll just be like filled with dirty water and will not be clean. But in any case, so to take the stuff out, then I went back and did other stuff. And then another one was just like getting it out of the fridge. That, I don't know. And then I had like a tight shirt over my face. It was a whole ordeal, and it was scary. I was scared, but I did it. I was able to get, like, I took a compostable bag and filled it the bottom up with rice. So I was thinking maybe like that would like absorb some moisture, so the bag would like leak everywhere. Anyway, long story short, I did it, and I am proud of myself. So now there's nothing rotten in the fucking fridge anymore. Then I spoke to my sister on the phone twice, which was nice. She's a holiday. Some shit that went down that really sucked. When she told me about that, I called her, make sure she was all right, and she'll be fine. Just shit outside of her control that is just like really not cool. She now has to deal with, but she's a resilient person, and she will be able to handle it. It's just unfair for her, and I'm bummed that she has to go through that. And then I was putting off cleaning the bathroom, but I knew I had to do it, especially since I did it. I didn't do it 2 weeks ago, and I was supposed to. So I was putting it off, but then I saw through the window that my roommates were arriving, so I'm like, fuck it, I'm just going to do it now. And so I started doing it, and I got it done, which is good. So I'm going to, I don't feel like cooking. I don't really have much to cook anyway. I don't want to go to the grocery store, so I'm just going to go and buy myself a carcasse, a quarter thigh of roasted chicken with French fries and brown sauce and coleslaw. I started watching the TV series, the Netflix series Baby Reindeer, which is very difficult to watch. I kept taking breaks from, starting dealing with the rotten food. I also got rid of all the bottles of piss again, because I accumulated other bottles of piss, because I'm discussing like that sometimes. I take breaks from doing stuff with watching Baby Reindeer, but then I had to take breaks from watching Baby Reindeer because it was so intense and unpleasant to watch. So, I don't know. I was able to get through both in sort of things in fragmented ways, but they sort of a symbiotic thing, like we both helped each other out. So I'm going to go do that. Then I'm thinking about the song A Sudden Chill by Arthur Russell, who is one of my favorite artists of all time. I love Arthur Russell ever since I was probably 21 or 22 years old. I was listening to the Deep Listening Band. Rest in peace, Pauline Oliveros. The Deep Listening Band, a legendary experimental avant-garde drone weird stuff band. Pauline Oliveros, a pioneer in contemporary drone music. You are missed, Pauline. And just like we'll watch, like I was just like listening to a Deep Listening Band album or song on YouTube, and I saw in the recommended videos a song by Arthur Russell called Another Thought, from the album Another Thought. And I looked at the cover, and just this like sort of blue-ish, right? I mean, there's a lot of blue. It's like black and blue and a bit of gray album cover. and there's just this photo of this man's head, and he's got like a paper hat made out like a hat made out of newspaper, and just like going over his eyes as well. But I want to make sure. Yeah, okay, just covering his eyes. Although I did remember it being more of an angle. I don't know. I'm just fascinated by how I haven't looked at the cover in a bit. Actually, no, I just saw it, but I was still going back to it. It doesn't matter. It was a song Another Thought, and it's just extremely sparse. I think you could pronounce it both ways, but I think sparse. Minimalistic song, lots of silences, and it is just as fans of Arthur Russell know. The classic cello and voice and delay. Plucked cello with the delay and goodsy bows, something. Anyway, if you get into Arthur Russell, or if you know Arthur Russell, you know what I'm talking about. It is a unique and beautiful sound. It is It is not surprising that eventually, once Audica started reissuing his work in the 2000s, early 2000s, that he is now quite beloved and well known in ways that he wasn't during his lifetime. Not that he wasn't appreciated; he was very well respected, but his work definitely came to wider audiences when it was reissued. So thank you to Audica Records for doing that. However, Audica Records is not able to, for some reason, or I don't know how it's working, but to reissue the album Another Thought. Was reissued on CD a couple years ago, and I asked Audica, because they posted about it, and I'm like, all right, well, does that mean that finally it'll be reissued digitally? They never responded to me. Why? I have no idea. But the answer was clear, because it was not. It was only on CD. Or no, actually no, they did respond to me. They said, no, it's just going to be on CD, and I asked why, and they never responded. So it's frustrating. So you know what? Fucking pirate it. I know it's on YouTube and stuff, but you want a copy to listen to offline, download it. Use a program called, and yes, I'm promoting piracy because it's just not available, which is to me a fucking crime, because this album is a masterpiece, and you should never feel bad about pirating art that is out of print. The fucking copyright laws. I'm not going to get into a whole copyright thing. Listen to this album. It's great. This is the closing track off of the album. It is one of the most beautiful songs I've ever heard in my life. Several of the most beautiful songs. Another Thought. Is fantastic. That's what it just blew me away when I heard it. I'd never heard anything else like it. I never heard anything so much beauty in and what's even another word I can do? Elegance, with so much silence around it, and in such simplicity, but everything was in exactly where it was supposed to be, including all this space between every element. It was so beautiful. But the song "A Little Lost" is, I think it's definitely one of his better known songs, but that song is so good. It's one of my favorites. I'm thinking I should have just talked about "A Little Lost." But anyway, This Is How We Walk in the Moon is amazing. The whole thing is great. Living in the Light of a Miracle is so silly, especially the fucking, the woman's singing behind it. I remember I was, setting up, I don't know, this lighting for this improv contemporary dance thing that I do the lighting for every once in a while. I put on the album, and then Living in the Light of a Miracle came on, and I was just thinking what did other people here think I'm into? Do the thing because the song is sort of awful. At least there are elements in the song that are sort of awful, especially that woman singing. It's so bad. Um, but yeah, A Sudden Chill is the last song on the album. Right? Am I mistaken? Wait a second. It's been a long time since I've listened to the album. I'm gonna listen to it again tonight. Uh, yeah, no, it's yeah. But yeah, let's just go through it because I want to. Another Thought, masterpiece. A Little Lost, one of his best songs. Home Away from Home, beautiful. Lucky Cloud. You have two versions of Lucky Cloud, which is one of these things that is so fascinating and rewarding, I think, as a fan of Arthur Russell, is that he never seemed to like think that songs were like done. He recorded so much stuff, and the reason why, like, there have been, so many reissue or sorry, compilations that have come out since his death. He died really young in 1994, I think. He died of AIDS. One of the many casualties of AIDS in the early 90s. And the things that he recorded constantly, and so his boyfriend kept all these recordings. And so funny, like the dude from Audica, I forgot his name, but the guy who created Audica specifically to get Arthur Russell's music to people. He was given access to these archives, which, by the way, just a small aside, Arthur Russell is how, the way Audica Records has been handling Arthur Russell's legacy is how it should be done. I believe I talked about it when I talked about Jason Molina, but last year they put out a picture of a bunny rabbit, which is a compilation of stuff that was recorded around the same time. I don't know if it's the exact same session, but around the same time as World of Echo, which is his best known album, specifically because it has been reissued. Unlike Another Thought. And that album is fucking amazing. It's amazing. And the dude, what's his name from Audica Records? I want to know his name. So chat around. Shit. Sorry, I'm not gonna waste my time. I'm sorry. But, whereas, for example, Jason Molina, they're scraping the bottom of the barrel, putting up these fucking, these unfinished things, these things that are obviously not up to the quality of what. It makes sense why it wouldn't have been put out, right? Jason Molina was so prolific; he put out so many records that were brilliant. But if stuff stayed unreleased, there's usually a good idea, and it's just not that great. And yet they keep putting these things out and just making them limited and only for secretly Canadian fan club members and shit. And I think it's sad. Whereas, Audica Records held on to these songs for over 10 years, and just we don't know what to do with them. We know these songs are good, but we just don't know exactly how to put them out. And they figured it out, and Picture of a Bunny Rabbit is amazing. It's one of my favorite records of last year. I came out last year, right? It came out last year. Yeah, last year. So good. But Love Is Overtaking Me, compilation of his more conventional songs, more folk and country and rock songs, is like on my top 5 albums of all time, and it's an absolutely amazing compilation. Um, so, anyway, another thought: listen to it. Listen to it. I think it's frustrating that because it was on a Philip Glass's label, like Orange Mountain Music, right? Point Music, or was like re-released. It's Point Music. Yeah. Philip Glass's Point Music label. I don't know why. So yeah, it was reissued on CD and LP in 2021. It's not. Apparently, it's the vinyl pressing is good, but vinyl sucks, and no, it sucks. I'm not a fan. I don't think that it is. It's fine if you like vinyl, but it's bad for the environment. It is feeds into this like I don't know. I'm just not collecting as much. I say this is a Magic the Gathering player pays exorbitant amounts of money for fucking pieces of cardboard. However, the manufacturing process of this piece of cardboard, I think, is a little less intense. Also, transportation is probably the same. The big thing is that like vinyl is like, really bad for the environment. You cannot recycle it. Although there are some efforts to make like recyclable stuff. At least you can recycle the fucking cards. I think. I don't know. Yeah, maybe I'm just a hypocrite. Okay, done rambling. I am hungry. I'm gonna go get a cocktail and enjoy it and watch more Baby Reindeer later tonight. Sorry, it's supposed to rain, but it hasn't started raining yet. Let's go back here. Seriously, Arthur Russell is really truly near the top of my favorite artists of all time, and another thought is such a fucking masterpiece. But so is World of Echo. Love is Overtaking Me. Picture of a Bunny Rabbit is amazing. Just listen to all of it. It's so good. It's so good. And there's that documentary, I believe, called Wild Combination, which is a really good documentary as well. I guess it's not supposed to rain anymore. Or at least, yeah, 49% chance of rain starting at 9, going down to 14 degrees Celsius. 57 degrees Fahrenheit, but if we go down to the end of the day, 12 degrees Celsius, 54 degrees Fahrenheit, still a 47% chance of rain, so it is possible that it's going to rain. Probably for longer than I thought it would, but it felt good. Well, not physically, because my throat still really hurts, but felt better than I thought. So, anyway, I did not go outside to enjoy any beautiful blue skies or golden sunshine all along the way, but I did get a lot done, and I feel good about myself. So everyone, great night.